Okay, so my task today is to tell you about our project, the Corpus of Four Bards, which is being developed by the collaboration of the Institute of Literary Research and Clarin.pl. In the limited time, I will just provide an overview of the project, covering its main objectives, key information about the corpus content, the process of its development, as well as sample scenarios of using the collected data. I think that some topics I will be touching during my presentation have already been summoned during this conference, but I think that it makes a nice liaison to creating a community, which is our main goal here, I believe. Okay, as of today, the corpus is still a work in progress. We've processed all of the poems of the Four Bards, and a humble selection of texts from other genera has also been included. First of all, I believe for some of you, it may be needed to state why those four poets. I believe that for anyone who attended a Polish school, it is an easy question. The statement about the key importance of the work of Adam Mickiewicz is on the bottom left. Juliusz Słowacki, upper right. Zygmunt Krasiński, lower right, and Cyprian Norwid, upper left. Of the development of Polish literature, language, and cultural heritage is a truism. But for those of you who have not frequented Polish schools, those are most eminent authors of Polish Romanticism, although in the case of Norwid the term is not entirely precise, but I will not get into that here. They are the object of interest of successive generations of scholars, present the canon of school reading in the language of Polish debate, or simply as basis of numerous phrases used in everyday life. And they remain an indispensable point of reference. They are all close in generation, born between 1798 and 1822. They were active in similar social circles, linked by social ties, and their works contain numerous mutual references. Despite they being probably most important Polish authors in an era of widespread digitization, the availability of their works online is shockingly incomplete. There is still no full set of texts by any of our authors on the web. And secondly, the texts available in the digital versions are often based on popular, not scholar editions, containing all sorts of errors, and therefore unreliable, difficult to use in research work, and are not adapted to the requirements of modern digital literary studies. A key question arises then, particularly within this group, regarding the availability of digital editions of the works by the aforementioned authors. A digital scholarly edition prepared in accordance with established academic standards would provide broad access to high-quality materials, enabling new types of research. However, to date, no edition fully meeting the criteria no edition fully meeting the criteria of a digital scholarly edition has been produced for any of the works by these poets. In our department, me and my colleagues, we worked on a Samuel Zborowski drama by Juliusz Słowacki, but it's still a work in progress, and no other work has been finished by now. To some extent, this gap may be addressed by the Corpus of Four Bards. It should be noted, however, that this collection is not a digital edition in the full academic sense of the word, nor is it simply a repository of texts. Instead, we adapt the methodology from the field more frequently utilized by linguists. Texts in corpus are being prepared and edited in a way that will allow researchers, and also potential future editors, I hope, to revisit and re-examine the legacy of Polish Romanticism from a fresh perspective. For linguists, just short note, the creation and utilization of various types of corpora has become standard practice by now. They serve as a foundation for a wide range of research area, including stylistics, dialectology, historical linguistics, and dialectology. And in the field of normative linguistics, they enable the verification of changes in language usage. Here you can see just a sample of charts possible to get from a corpora. You can get numerous statistics like information about the corpus structure. This is really the structure of a Corpus of the Four Bards. Annotation statistics, this is those lines up. stylometry research, and keywords distribution. It was our intention to utilize some of this potential in the field of literary studies, and that was the idea behind the Corpus of the Four Bards. I need to note that the project emerged from research on the Corpus of Juliusz Słowacki, conducted at the Institute of Literary Research under the leadership of Professor Marek Troszyński, and through subsequent collaboration with Clarin.pl and the active involvement of Professor Maciej Piasecki, the project expanded and evolved significantly. The corpus aims to encompass complete works written in Polish by Adam Mickiewicz, Juliusz Słowacki, Zygmunt Krasiński, and Cyprian Norwid. This includes, what is important, not only traditionally recognized literary works, such as poems, dramas, and prose, for example, but also a wide range of sketches, notes, unpublished materials, correspondence. Particularly for Zygmunt Krasiński, these known literary texts, meaning correspondence, constitute a significant portion of his subcorpus. As you can see, the subcorpora are not really similar in size. This is because we didn't decide to just choose some works. We collected everything we could. It couldn't be said that it matches or is really easy to compare, but this is how it is. Our goal was not to prepare a new edition of these works. The corpus does not introduce new textual interpretations or resolutions, nor does it, in most cases at least, rely directly on manuscripts or first editions. Instead, the corpus is built upon existing critical editions. The selection of texts for inclusion in the subcorpora was guided by several criteria: the completeness of the edition, its reliability, adherence to the latest scholarly findings and editorial practices, and its established use within academic research and the broader reading community. So here is the workflow we adapted when developing the Corpus of the Four Bards. In hindsight, we must say that we might approach certain aspects differently today, especially the modernization. The decisions made at the outset have shaped the project, but some of them can be changed now, so maybe we are open for discussion on those. So this slide illustrates the stages of our work, using a poem by Zygmunt Krasiński as an example. As you can see, of course, the first image is a scan of a page from a pre-war paperback edition edited by Jan Czubek. It's simply a graph, an image. The second image shows the OCR version. You see that there are a lot of errors and typos and everything, extra spaces, for example, and it needed corrections. At this stage, we also removed all of the things that were not really written with the author's hand, like the title, which was not given by Krasiński. Most of Krasiński's poems, or almost all of them, were written in the letters, so they did not include any titles, and the dating was also added by editors, so we removed all of that. And there we go to the third image, which illustrates the process of modernization. You can see highlighted the word mojem. It is an archaic form of the possessive pronoun mój, mine, which is no longer used in modern Polish language, and often unrecognized by the natural language processing tools for Polish. So we had to change it, and in the final picture you can see the word mojem is changed into moim, which is a current form, a contemporary form of the word mine. And this decision to modernize the text was undoubtedly the most controversial we made by the project's implementation team. This choice stemmed from the initial difficulties encountered with the effectiveness of morphosyntactic tagging. But now it is possible to train those tools more to recognize 19th century flexion, so maybe we will have to revisit this decision. The next step in processing the text involved structuring it. This entailed marking various structural units of the text. We used TEI for those. We marked subtitles, mottos, title, of course, dedications. We divided the content into lines or paragraphs, stanzas, and that sort of thing. For dramatic works, we have not finished the work on drama yet, but we will have applying the division to acts, scenes, and characters statement. You can see an example of the text after applying this specific tags. This is still the same poet, so it is quite a short and easy text to tag also. And on the right, you can see the result. We use the Infotext tool. It is a tool developed by Kladin.pl for Corpora, for working with Corpora. And you can see how the annotation concerning the word mine looks after putting it in the system. You can see that it has information about the word form and the type of modernization that we used, so it can all be reversed if it is needed. Extremely important element of our work on the corpus was using of NLP tools. Thanks to using those tools, mostly provided by Kladin, we were able to develop tokenization, morphosyntactic tagging, and of course lemmatization. They were carried out. On the slide, we can see a section of text divided by the tool into tokens. This is the right part of the picture. And a list of all separated tokens with information about them. That's of course on the left. Interesting example here is the division of the word written ubrałbym. It's the further from me. Split into the base, ubrał, it is the word to dress, by, the particle, and m, it is the inflectional ending of the first person singular. However, the tool did not perform an analogous action with the word gdybym, which is basically means if I, resulting in further problems that will be seen in the next slide. Here you can see the process of morphological disambiguation. Each token was giving a corresponding tag from a list of possible interpretations. And which is important in Infotext, the user can also manually enter an interpretation not included in the list. The screenshot shows the list of interpretation for the word me, it's the same, together with the correct selection made by the tool. And here we have highlighted in red the word gdybym, so if I. As you will recall, incorrectly split by the tokenizer was marked as unrecognized form, ignotum, it's there on the left. Fortunately, Infotext provides the opportunity to manually correct both the division of text into tokens and the assigned morphosyntactic information. In order to minimize the number of errors resulting from the imperfections of the tool, initial tests of morphosyntactic tagging were of course carried out. The list of results was checked and analyzed for possible causes of errors. It showed that the main cause of incorrect tagging were, well, 19th century grammar, no surprise here, and 19th century inflection, also not surprising. For example, the tool did not correctly recognize the endings like the word ścielonymi, it would be ścielonymi today. And of course, 19th century vocabulary not included in the dictionary available to tools adapted to the analysis of modern texts. It was therefore decided to introduce some solutions. We changed the tagger we used and we changed the tokenizer, which could help to remedy the problems mentioned above, and the effectiveness of the tools increased to almost 98%, so it was close to perfect. It was matching the tagging by a human. It will allow corpus first research to be carried out, such as the creation of frequency lists and advanced corpus searching according to various criteria, such as, for example, a selected word form in one subcorpus in one type of text, defined genealogically, chronologically, or all in four subcorpora, whatever you need. By tagging the entire corpus, it is possible to search for lemmas regardless the word form in which they occur, which is important for Polish language. This also applies to lemma that in different grammatical forms are significantly different from the basic form. Again, it is important for Polish language because we have inflection, so sometimes the word forms differ significantly. Of course, it is also possible to search by tags to indicate all lexemes occurring in a specific grammatical form, for example. Tagging the corpus makes it also possible to carry out further operations on it requiring prior segmentation of the material. As the materials comprising the subcorpus of the Corpus of the Four Bards are unified in terms of spelling modernization, they can be analyzed using the same tagger, and the results of such analysis for the individual subcorpora will be comparable among themselves. After that, we moved to an annotation phase. We put the texts into InfoRex tool, and we worked there. It is the crucial element in ensuring the comparability of analysis results across individual subcorpora in the creation of standardized set of annotation and metadata describing each text. Annotations consist of a set of tags and comments applied to text, which of course all of you know. And here we have some annotations that we applied automatically, and some of them were applied manually. We used automatic named entities recognition by Clarin to annotate the named entities, of course. It was done mostly automatically with corrections by researcher. However, it is important to note that we do not have any kind of linking to common base of knowledge or anything like that. We only have some set of types of named entities, for example, like cities, countries, etc. So we cannot find all, well, you can find all the Mickiewicz's, for example, in the corpus by using corpus searching, but not with named entities. And we also have an annotation set. These are those orange boxes that indicates all of the changes that editors made to the text and to the corpus. Of course, this includes all type of modernization and corrections. And also, we corrected some of obvious errors. We tried not to correct everything that that seemed to us to be probably wrong. Another layer marks foreign insertions and other, for example, fragments of other texts, like translations, quotations, summaries, and experts. The final layer also includes information on corrected errors that I already talked about. This annotation system facilitates navigation within the corpus and provides users with tools to extract relatively complex statistics. It is also important to emphasize, however, that the corpus reserves primarily as a dataset for lexical research, rather than an addition of literary text. As a result, both the range of annotated information and the methods of annotation are tailored to this specific purpose. It is also important for us to, for example, annotate the information about the source of a text used so that it will be possible to find it in a printed edition if anyone needed it. We also, of course, added some metadata. File name, I don't think it needs any commentary. Of course, we also put an information about author's name. For the time being, of course, in every subcorpora, the author is by definition the same. But if you want to compare the corpora, it may be interesting. We have two different boxes for titles, because some of the texts have original primary authorial title, and some of them were printed with no title or not printed at all by the author. So here we use the title used by editors. We have 2 dates of origin, which is not always sure and not always known, and the date of first publication, which is important because this is the moment when the text entered was possible to be read by the common public and started its influence on the Polish language and Polish literature. We also have information about base or original localization and type. Also 2 types of formal classifications, more general and more specific. And also this is a technicality information about the file size. Now we come to the question of the usability of the corpus. As I said, the corpus allows advanced searching and collocation finding. It can also be a source of all kinds of statistics on word frequency and distribution, metadata-based research, etc. Here, I would just want to outline some possible research scenarios. I think most important of them is vocabulary analysis. Corpora have long been successfully used as a source of various types of lexical research. The advanced search capabilities of a corpus annotated with detailed metadata offer nearly limitless possibilities, particularly in the analysis of an individual author's vocabulary. Generating frequency lists allow researchers to identify patterns and lexemes that might not be immediately apparent in a subjective reading. For instance, in the corpus encompassing the complete works of Juliusz Słowacki, the most frequent occurring word, spirit, duch, appears twice as often as the second most frequent word, a man, człowiek. Access to collocations also makes it possible to verify meaning of or emotional tone of word. For example, in the drama Kordian by Juliusz Słowacki, it was found that the dagger, a symbol of treachery, and the sword, as a symbol of honor, have their axiological role. Than that associated with Catholicism, even suggesting that Norwid rarely spoke of Catholics, and when he did, it was with irony. This claim was supported by a few well-known quotes. However, a comprehensive study of the vocabulary from both semantic and fields did not confirm significant ideological differences in their evaluation. Additionally, the ironic connotation of the term Catholic is quite rare and clearly context-dependent. Phenomena at the intersection of ideological analysis and general language studies can also be examined, such as, for example, the dynamics of the emergence of words referring to new social, technical, or scientific phenomena, the assimilation of foreign words, including fleeting or lasting calques, the dynamics of hapax legomena, considering factors like the author, text type, or historical period. If a selected phenomena is described in a corpus of textual corpus taken as a whole, generalizations and conclusions are very often inadequate, even false, because it can be, and very often is, limited and conditioned, for example, by the type of text or its subject matter. If, therefore, one would like to reconstruct the image of a concept, one should talk about multiple, often different textual images, rather than one ideological image, which is, after all, heterogeneous for obvious reason. Existing studies of this often, perhaps even usually, fail to take this heterogeneity into account, even in authors' language dictionaries. The lexis often given author is treated as a whole. It is usually not differentiated even genealogically. Because we have those metadata, it is possible to search words and also to tag them by the type, the genre, and the type of text, so it is possible to understand if the situation we are referring to is specific for whole of the vocabulary or of the author, or simply for some type of text. Yeah, And to wrap it up, I also would like to add that I think that this kind of base, because we don't have, as I said in the beginning, we don't have a digitized version of all of the texts of our bards. I hope that this may be the basis for future editions for people who would like to work on editions of the bards, so they don't have to make a lot of work themselves, and the base corrections are already done. Okay, so thank you.